What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to address something I heard on the internet, well, Facebook. Basically, it just goes hand in hand with everything we've been hearing lately about Justice League. The main point, most recent news I've heard is that the Justice League movie coming out in November 2017 will apparently address Batman killing in Batman vs Superman, which of course was a humongous divide between fans and critics alike, who thought this was a humongous shakeup of the character in general, which I've already addressed before. It's not true. Batman has killed in the comics before, and he's definitely killed in the movies before. So, I'm not going to go over the whole killing thing again specifically in detail, but what I will say is this, because a lot of people are saying this is supposed to go hand in hand with the new tone of the series, that being that ever since BVS was released, people, at least some people, I'm not going to say everybody, some people have been saying the films have been too dark, and so now people are saying the studio is going to, do a backflip for the audience and also go into a much lighter, happier tone. Uh, and the thing is, to me though, these films are crafted very, very well. I know it's a matter of opinion with people. Some people think they're choppily edited and all that stuff. Um, but let me just say this: these movies definitely have a plan going from the very get-go, and it's so apparent that to me, it's just beautifully well done. Like when I finally see Justice League, and I'm in tears, and then when I finally own that trilogy on Blu-ray, that will be amazing. Because to me, the the thing is, these movies interlock so well together. It's amazing. Okay, let me put it this way. Let me show it to people who don't quite get it. In Man of Steel, there was a pretty big plot point of the movie was, Jonathan Kent telling Superman that the people are going to fear him, they won't understand him, and they're just going to, be so terrified of him. And, for a long time, Superman does not use his powers publicly because he believes that, Jonathan Kent died for this, which to him was just such a, horrible, horrible, thing that could possibly happen, that mankind would just, be in shambles because of this terror that is Superman. And unfortunately, it's eventually forced upon Superman to use his powers to stop his own kind, at which point we see the destructive capabilities of the Kryptonian race on Earth. And we see that mankind is basically outmatched. They're powerless to stop them. They're only really able to stop the Kryptonians because of Superman's help, which of course establishes him as a good guy, but establishes the threat of people like Superman, obviously. So what happens in the next movie? The very things Jonathan Kent was talking about the whole movie come to fruition in the form of Lex Luthor and Batman, two men who feel powerless by the arrival of Superman, who feel that he's basically destroyed the way things are supposed to be, and so those two characters, both in their own ways, try and fight against Superman to prove that man is still the better being in the universe. Uh, and of course, that's basically a humongous driving plot point of that movie. That's basically the driving home point of that movie. Humanity feeling powerless in the face of this new godlike being. And then on the second hand side, more focused on Batman himself, there's a story of Batman who has become, in Alfred's words, more cruel, and that because he feels powerless. Also, another quote from Alfred. So it's pretty clear in the movie for those who don't get it, because I talked to a lot of people who still don't get it, that Batman has not always been the way he is in the movie, and it was probably influenced mostly by Jason Todd's death, as we see in the movie. You see Robin's costume. He was also killed by the Joker. And then whatever vengeance and anger he was feeling before was already furthered upon by Man of Steel's events. So by now, he is just full of despair, hopelessness, and rage that he just doesn't care anymore. And which is funny to me, because if you watch a lot of Batman movies and cartoons and comics, you'll get why they went this route. Because if you watch Under the Red Hood, the animated DC film, which is very, 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 very good, at the very end, when Red Hood is telling Batman to either kill the Joker or kill him, and then when Batman still refuses to do it, he asks him why he won't do it. Batman clearly tells him, because if I do that, there's an abyss that he won't be able to go back, he won't be able to pull himself back from. Well, he's saying that once he starts killing, he don't doesn't know if he'll ever be able to stop, which is, for all the controversy around the Killing Joke, which I haven't posted a review for, I did see it. For all the good and bad of the Killing Joke film that was released earlier this year, they did at least address that Batman doesn't kill because he feels it will pull him into an abyss that he won't be able to crawl back out of. And that's the thing I liked about BVS. They had balls. They finally showed a Batman who has actually fallen into the full-on abyss, who's forgotten his own code. And that's interesting because I don't think it's ever been done quite this way before, in the sense that Batman is definitely killed in both the movies and the comics, on more than one occasion. But this Batman, it's just fully out there in the open. And to me, that's very nicely done. And of course, that's another driving plot point of BVS, that Superman despises this way of justice, and that's why he's going after Batman, telling him that Bat is dead. He doesn't want this form of justice on Earth, especially on a figure that, at least in Gotham anyways, people kind of revere Batman, as he says in the movie, people are actually helping him. And so now it's very fitting. In the same way that BVS addressed a lot of what happened in Man of Steel, now Justice League will address a lot of what happened in BVS, and apparently Batman killing will be one of those things, which to me is just great. I mean, I love the way they're interlocking together. It feels fantastic. In fact, if in Justice League we get some kind of intro where it's kind of like BVS, where we see events of BVS from an outsider's point of view, that'd be freaking fantastic. I say definitely go for it. As for the future of the DC Extended Universe as a whole, I think it's going spectacularly well. I mean, say what you will about the critical reception of these movies, and financially, critically speaking, I could care less, honestly. Critics, whatever. The critics can say whatever they want, and they just don't get movies anymore as far as I'm concerned. They really don't. Let alone that. A lot of people like talk crap about them financially, especially BVS, because it made under $1 billion. But, I mean, if you look at the receipts of the first outings of the Marvel Universe and compare them to the first outings of the DC Universe, I mean, DC's off to a pretty good start, and they can only go higher from here, especially with big hits like Justice League and Wonder Woman coming that people are really looking forward to. And of course, the Ben Affleck directed Batman movie, which of course is going to draw in big crowds because just director of The Town and Argo is making a Batman movie where he plays Batman. Just think of that. That's incredible. So that said, I'm very much looking forward to the future of DCEU, and I think it's going to be even bigger and better. Superman's going to come back and be Superman that we've all been waiting for. Of course, they will finally, of course, I realize they will finally get past the whole Fear Superman arc, because that has finally come full circle. They didn't know him. He appeared. They kind of feared him. They still loved him. There's still plenty of people on Earth who loved him, Lois Lane among others. And then eventually he died to save us. And once he comes back, it's going to be pretty much full circle. Like, now he's fully appreciated for who he is and what he was to the planet. And then, of course, the new challenge comes with Darkseid, but that's, for the future films. But to me, this is all been brilliantly set up. And just Zack Snyder, I think you're doing a great job. He gets way too much hate for movies he's done, and it's a shame, really, because these are really great films. And I will argue to the letter with somebody about why that is. I mean, I really could go back and forth on this all day, but I just want to keep the video short. That's my opinion on it. And if you have anything to say about it in the comment section, please let me know. I'd love a discussion or debate, whichever you want. I don't care. I'm all for it. We're all fans here, right? Live long and prosper, guys, and wait for 2017 to hit, because this is going to be a good year for DC. It gets better and better.